Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look at KuCoin and see exactly what's going on. I'm excited to check this out just based on the simple fact that it kind of misbehaved yesterday, and we want to see why, right? We need to know what's going on. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin here first, because I think it's really important to understand that, because KuCoin, even though it's done very well and moved independent of Bitcoin in the most recent past, the very recent past, last couple of trading days, we've seen that those corrections from Bitcoin directly hit with KuCoin. All right, so we need to know what that means and essentially how that's going to impact us in the big picture. So that's why I want to look at Bitcoin here first. And just something really quick to know, I mean, we're below both moving averages. That's pretty standard. Just keep in mind this 50-day 7 moving average will start to average itself out closer to 54,000. I think the price action is going to start going sideways here. I don't think we're going to see much more continuation of downside. I would say 52 is the absolute worst case. But if you look back at, what is it? It was right here. Look at this guy right here. That's roughly where the support is coming from, right? We got a strong amount of support right here from the high just before the El Salvador candle on September 7th, right? And we also have a strong amount of accumulation, a lot amount of volume right here, right at 54,000. That being said, those things are holding the price in place here. So we do have a strong support channel between 52 and 54. I don't foresee the price coming much lower than 54,000 based on the simple fact that the price is going very much straight sideways so far. Now, granted, weekends do behave this way sometimes, but if you look at the previous, most recent past, it was, peaks and valleys within large ranges. Right now, even though it's albeit only been about, 24 to 30 hours roughly, you can see a nice steady state of consolidation right at 54,000. So I wouldn't say that this is the exact bottom, but I think we're very, very close to the bottom. And I would venture to guess in the next week or two, we'll start to see the price slowly increase over time with Bitcoin. And that's just the bottom line. But keep in mind here, until we're past 60,000, the major resistance channel, we don't want to consider this to be bullish yet, right? I think we're still bullish on the macro, big picture. But micro, still very much bearish in the sense that we need to see further consolidation before the next increase. So I'd venture to guess, depending on what happens tomorrow or Tuesday, that'll really help determine the state of Bitcoin here soon, right? So tomorrow we could see a strong increase. The whales could start adding, to their positions. We've actually seen a lot of whales come out of nowhere, and there's been a tremendous amount of volume coming into Bitcoin. The market dominance is increasing. However, we see right now the price just going straight sideways. So until the whales are back in business tomorrow, it's kind of a slight mystery, but we will find that out soon. I'll take another look at this again tomorrow. As per usual, this is my daily driver here for you guys, just to ensure that we are, all on the same page, because, I got a lot of people that need to know what this means. So just before jumping into the KuCoin here, I just need you to know, not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only, right? But just don't mistake that, right? Because I love teaching people how to become better traders. So it's not just a disclaimer; it's essential. It's just part of who I am, right? I love teaching people how to become better financially. I've been trading for over 15 years, so I can assure you you are in good hands. And all things considered, I always do what's in everyone's best interest, including my own, because I don't take trades unless, of course, they are 100% legitimate. And what I mean by that is that I have a certain level of, I guess, I don't know, I don't just jump in arbitrarily because the next person is doing so. It needs to fit a certain standard. And coincidentally, I took a trade yesterday with my community yesterday, and we're down a little bit on the day. We averaged down a little bit, but KuCoin didn't behave the way that we were expecting it to, based on the simple fact that we had all the right buy signals, but Bitcoin decided to take a nice 3% dip in 30 minutes, and it just sent things kind of going south. I'll show you what I mean by that. Anyways, enough rambling. We're under 70 on the RSI, which is perfectly fine. I know I like to say it's good to stay over 70 on the RSI on the one-day chart, but as long as we're over 50, we're good, right? So 50 to 70 is kind of a sweet spot. I'm perfectly fine with that. That's no problem at all. We don't even need to worry about this bearish divergence on the MACD. That doesn't imply we're going to see the price just go straight down. It does imply that the overall sentiment is still considered to be overbought, right? And that the fact of the matter is, on the big picture, the bears are potentially going to take control. Doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to come plummeting down. It just means that there's a shift in mindset here, and that's coalescing with Bitcoin's fear index, right? We've got a lot of fear in the market right now. People are concerned. Money's coming out, and it's not really, people are worried about investing in coins, even like this, really good, strong fundamental coins based on that sentiment alone. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the 4 hour and kind of see what's going on. Looking at the 50-day sub moving average, that is essentially above the price action. It's considered a resistance. Not great. I wouldn't say it's terrible because the price tends to fluctuate above and below that moving average. But in the past 50, 4-hour candlesticks, basically, for lack of better terms, the average price should be 75 cents, and we're just below that. So that's actually a good sign in the sense that we should hopefully help push the price action up because people feel like it's a good value, right? So there's that. Furthermore, too, RSI is under 50. Also, traditionally not a good bullish indication. This basically tells us that the bears are effectively in control. We can see 50 on the RSI working as a resistance. You see how the price comes up here and got rejected? That was yesterday when the price tried to come up right to about 76 cents and then came right back down. Okay. So again, not terrible, just we got to acknowledge the fact that this is a potential bearish shift in momentum. It shouldn't last too long based on the sense of the fact that KuCoin, I feel, is still very much alive. However, we got to be real in the sense that it is more so bearish divergence versus a bullish convergence, which is what we hope for. But keep this in mind. We are still on the 4-hour chart. We still have a higher low and a higher high, okay? That hasn't changed yet. So until the price comes down below 66 cents, we shouldn't be worried in that sense alone, okay? Because 66 cents proven to be a very, very strong support level. And I would say that 60 cents would be an extreme worst case scenario. That's why we have our stop loss at 60 cents, because I don't think we're going to even come close to that. That's just my personal opinion. Again, Bitcoin tanks to 50,000 tomorrow, where that fear is going to seep into KuCoin, is going to happen. That's why we got to be real with the fact that Bitcoin is, I wouldn't say it's manipulating KuCoin, but it's definitely influencing it in the recent past. Prior to this, didn't matter. Like KuCoin was just doing its own thing. It was essentially its own ecosystem, right? Right now, though, with all this fear in the market, there's a strong chance that KuCoin could continue to decrease based on that sentiment alone. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this. So I mean, if you're currently obviously a patron and you're following that trade that I took yesterday, I wouldn't worry about it too much, honestly. I think that we're still in good shape here. We don't have any extreme signs it's going to decrease. But the bottom line is we need to understand that Crow is potentially on the downswing versus the upswing, of course, based on that sentiment alone. Now we'll look at the 1-hour chart and kind of identify a couple things, but big picture, it does look like Crow is having a slight shift in momentum. But keep this in mind, every single decrease, like the one we saw yesterday, for example, was because Bitcoin took a crap, right? It just went straight down, and most other coins did as well. And the reason why KuCoin's doing that is because it's over exaggerated, right? It's considered to be overbought. And what's the first thing people do when they get scared? They sell the coins that are making them the most money, and this made them a lot of money recently. Okay. Now, this has nothing to do with the actual whales at this point, right? We don't know what they're going to do. There's a good chance that they'll continue to push the price up early next week. That's my speculation, based on how Bitcoin should likely recover. All we need is about 2 or 3 more days of consolidation from Bitcoin. In other words, just go straight sideways at 54. That's all well and good. Let that fear subside and let coins like this take off again. I think that's a very strong likelihood. Much more likely than the inverse. All right, so let's take a look at the cloud here. And this one kind of basically gives us two signals, right? First of all, the price below the cloud is generally considered a sell signal. In other words, sell your open position, right? If you have an open position, this is what it's telling us. However, I don't personally feel that that is the case here, exactly, because the cloud can definitely give us some false positives, especially in the sense that KuCoin just got, for lack of better terms, manipulated by Bitcoin, right? It got pushed down because of Bitcoin's indecision. That is leading to indecision here, right? But if Bitcoin can go sideways for a little bit longer, then I'm confident that KuCoin will increase above that. Also, furthermore, the price being under this resistance level isn't a major concern based on the fact that hasn't closed in the 1-day candlestick yet. We're still a little premature. We got like 7-8 hours left of trading in this cycle, and I think that we can get the price to close above, then we'll be in much better shape. Right. So again, key level support and resistance levels on the 1-day chart is the most important. And right now on the 1 hour, we can tell that it's not really all that super relevant. What is relevant though is TD sequential. Let's go ahead and take a look at that here. And this is a good sign. This is why I'm not super concerned, because we're at a 9 on TD sequential, effectively telling us that we shouldn't expect to see the price go much lower, kind of creating this tentative support level right at about 71 cents. So that kind of is basically telling me that we should expect to see the price come back up. We should expect the 1-day candlestick to close above 74 cents, and we should expect to see higher highs and higher lows from there. Again, that's my speculation, just based on the simple facts and ways that KuCoin is moving. And I feel that Bitcoin is likely at its bottom. I don't think we're going to go much lower. In fact, I'm very, very close without, depending on what happens tomorrow and Tuesday, about taking a position to the upside for Bitcoin. I'm fairly confident we're going to see higher prices from here on out. I don't think we're going to go much lower. That's another reason why I'm not super concerned with KuCoin at this time. I don't feel like we're going to see the bottom drop out of Bitcoin again. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at. But we have these knee-jerk reactions that are happening all the time when that fear gets too extreme. So if you want to do some research, look at the fear index and see, you'll see it's kind of at an all-time high for how much fear people have right now, because they're not sure the state of Bitcoin. But I can comfortably say that Bitcoin's got healthy behavior right now in that support of 54,000. That leads me to believe that KuCoin isn't going to go much further down. Okay, that's why we're holding our position open. Obviously, if I get some other signals, we might have to close that position, heaven forbid, at a small loss. That's the way it goes sometimes. But honestly, I don't foresee that happening based on the fact that we're at a 9 here in TD sequential. We should expect to see a retrace back up, for lack of better terms. In other words, an increase. And at that point, we'll go ahead and reevaluate and take a closer look. So I might actually check out KuCoin later today, just to be on the safe side, so we can kind of see what's going on. But if you are part of the community, don't worry, I'm keeping a close eye on this guy here, and we're making sure that we're going to make steady progress. But all good things, I would say, from Crow. Yes, we are bearish on the short term. I get that. But I don't foresee that lasting much longer. I think we're going to still consider to see some consolidation, some sideways action from KuCoin, as long as Bitcoin can do the same. So we'll go ahead and take another look at this here soon. Thank you so much for hopefully learning something here today. I hope that I helped. And obviously, we'll take another look at this here again very, very soon, possibly later today, but definitely tomorrow. Make sure we stay abreast on the current events here for KuCoin. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. Look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.